What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is Will. That is Casino with the only sports podcast. Hopefully, Casino fixed his internet and is not trying to run his internet through his toaster like he did for the last 10 minutes of last week's podcast. But
also, sorry that this podcast is a day late because, BJ's kid, I don't know why he's throwing up and stuff. Just like, get your kid a better immune system. Let's go. Come on.
Dude, I'm telling you, So me and Casino obviously have day jobs before this podcast takes off. It makes us multimillionaires. But so I got home from work last night. No, not last night, the night before.
Yeah.
And I was walking upstairs and I get home late, like midnight. So I go upstairs to our room. My son still sleeps in the bed with us because he's like 1 year old or whatever. So I get up there and he like pops his head up like he's awake and he's like reaching towards me and going like da 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 da. And I was like, oh, this is adorable. I grab him, I put him on my chest. He lays his head down. I'm like, oh, this is nice. We're going to bed. I'm glad he's feeling better. Within 5 seconds of me being like, this is nice, he lifts his head up, looks me directly in the eye, projectile vomits from my chin down, completely covers me. Just in like, he had like applesauce. So it was like applesauce and milk, just vomit all from my chin to my belly button. Completely covers himself, completely covers me. I'd been home for literally 5 minutes. And then that was one of 7 times I've been projectile vomited on by him in the past 3 days. So none today, fingers crossed, none today. But yeah, so that's why we could not record the podcast, because I just kept having baby vomit all over me, and that's not a good look.
Toaster for an internet.
Yeah, so we got baby vomit, we got toaster internet, and we're the only sports podcast. We have to be more professional than that. I was going to come on today with just covered in stuff, but then I would have to clean it up and it just wouldn't be a good look. But
yeah. I didn't make toast today, just in case.
So today we're going to talk about MLB playoffs. We're going to talk about our picks for the NFL this weekend. And then we're going to talk about a video Casino just made me watch, which is the fantastic Draymond Green punching out his teammate video. But before we get into all the fun stuff, Casino, let's talk about the least fun thing, which is Thursday night football and the Broncos-Colts game, which happened last night. I think I'm done watching Broncos games. Why do they keep putting Broncos games on primetime? They are I've seen they've had 3 primetime games. They've had 5 games. I think I've watched 4 of them. Just abysmal.
Oh, they're trying to get them out of the way. Just trying to get them out of the way.
Dude, it's so
did we pick? Who did we pick? Oh, we didn't pick because
it doesn't matter. We both would have picked the Broncos and the Colts would have won.
Yep.
Yeah. So that would have been a loss anyways. But yeah, I watched that game. I, like an idiot, because at work we don't have Amazon Prime. So like an idiot, they replay it on NFL Network. So I recorded it and then came home and watched it. And it was just gross. I hate the Broncos. I hate that Broncos team. And the thing is, their defense is pretty legit. Like, they're holding teams to less than 14 points a game. But that offense, man, is just Russell Wilson. This is my first question to you. They always say, let Russ cook. Is Russ cooked? He looks like he's done.
Yeah, no, he's 2 interceptions. A shitty game. I'm done. Like, I love though how he was so adamant about getting out of Seattle, and it was like, me or Carroll, take your pick. Well, guess what? They got it right.
Yeah, they look like they bailed at the exact, because that's what people always give Belichick credit for, is he would always bail on players right before they just fucking tanked. Like, this looks like now the smartest move by the whole Seattle Seahawks organization. Like, they got the best of Russell Wilson, and now it just looks like he's just done. Like, I mean, how long before we are just like, it's a slump versus this is who he is now. Because that the second interception he had last night, he's literally getting tackled to the ground and he throws it 15 yards away from where his closest wide receiver is. And he's literally going to the ground and just throws it as far as he can. Like, for what? What are you thinking is going to happen in that? It was, but the Colts, their 2 victories, Chiefs, Broncos, sneaky good. My first
you were going to say that word.
Sneaky good wins there, but I still don't think the Colts are good.
Like, no, and you say sneaky win against the Broncos. We've talked about this. We thought the Broncos were going to be good. They have on paper a great team. Well, above average team. They have a team that could definitely be, contendable. But yeah. So when you say sneaky good to beat the Broncos, I don't agree with that at this point. We already know what the Broncos are. They're trash. They're garbage.
Well, I don't care how good. The Broncos offense is trash and garbage. The Broncos defense is number 4 in the league. So
fair. I mean, and you got to think the Colts won without having their starting running back.
Even. Yeah. First time he's ever missed a game in his entire career, which is fucking crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah, some Iron Man shit right there. Ugh. But yeah, this game was gross. I literally watched. I watched almost the end of the third quarter, and I'm like, I'll catch the highlights. This isn't fun.
Dude, it's bad when you're at home and your fans start leaving as the game goes into OT. Like there's that viral clip, but I mean, they showed it during the broadcast, obviously, where it's like the start of OT and just the entire stadium is just emptying. And it's a 9-9 game at that point, ends up being 12-9 is the final, but you're paying Russell Wilson $245 million a contract, and you pay him for moments like this at the end of the game, right? Where it's 4th and 2, you're at they're at like the 8-yard line, and they just have to get into the end zone to win the game. Like, that's what you're paying him for. And then he throws into double coverage. He throws behind, I think it was Sutton. He throws behind him, wasn't even close, and that's the game. Like,
and
throws two
game.
Yeah. So the Broncos offense was ranked 18th going into this game. After this week, they have to fall to 25? Like there's no way there's going to be that 10 better offensive performances 10 worse offensive performances than this Broncos what they put up against the Colts, which the Colts defense is ranked 7th in the league. So again, if these 2 teams can just fix their offenses, they wouldn't be bad, but that's obviously saying a lot more than if everybody could just fix one side of the ball, we'd have a lot better football. But anything else to take away from this game, Casino?
None whatsoever.
Yeah, just boring. Stop putting Broncos games on prime time. Also, random question for you, but I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this in connection to the Tua concussion thing, which we talked about on the last episode. Should the NFL get rid of Thursday night games?
I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but here's the thing. People crave it. They want it as much as they can. So they're going to keep it on there so they can have your attention the entire week.
Yeah, but football is so different than all the other sports, which is it's predominantly a contact sport, right? You can have double headers in baseball. You can play basketball games back to back, nights back to back, because it's non-contact and you still get hurt and stuff, but it doesn't mean every game you're playing, you're smashing into the other team, 50 times a game, probably more. It's one of those ones where can you play football 4 days after you just played football? I don't know if you can. I think the majority of them would not give a shit. I don't think there's an advantage to playing Thursday. I think there's only a disadvantage. I don't know. I think I agree with you. I don't think they will, especially when Amazon paid them billions of dollars to have Thursday night football. But I think Sunday, Monday, okay, like like that seems to have worked out because you get an extra day when blah blah blah. But Thursday night football, man, I don't think it works. I don't think you can sustain this, but I don't think you can get rid of it. Now that we've done Thursday night, let's dive into the Sunday slate we have. And we first start the day in London with Giants at Packers. I guess I don't know why they put at for away games, but technically this is a Packer home game. 3-1 Giants, 3-1 Packers. Who you got, Casino?
Oh man, this is a sneaky game. No,
Yeah.
so
No, it is not.
I know Green Bay's -8. Even though the Giants are 3-1, and I had that miraculous pick last week, which I feel awesome about.
This is now your team. The Giants are now your NFC team. You're trying to live or die by this team.
No, I actually have them losing this week. Again, no matter how much I hate Rodgers and that team and yada yada, I just don't see them losing a lot in the regular season. Except they find ways to win. Rodgers finds ways to win in the regular season.
Yeah, he's a winner, except when it counts. That's
he's a winner. You got it. I have the Packers here. I don't know if I agree with the -8. I still think that the Giants might pull it a little closer, but I don't.
Should we start picking games based on the point spread or just who's going to win, who's going to lose?
I mean, who's going to win, who's going to lose, but I don't mind talking about the point spread. Why not?
Okay. No, I was just throwing it out there. But
you do both, man.
But I don't think the Packers have shown. Let's see. The Giants defense is 15th in the league. So they're average. They're literally the most. And then their offense is 22nd. So how they are 3-1 is just luck of who they played versus what they have, right? Their entire offense is Saquon Barkley. They line up in 3 tight end sets, and then they just pound the rock and basically pray that Daniel Jones doesn't fuck them.
They've had the Titans, the Panthers, they were competitive against the Cowboys, and then they had the Bears. Like, the only team they lost to is the Cowboys. I mean, Panthers are garbage, Bears are garbage, Titans.
Well, that was before Titans had righted the ship, or at least it looks like they righted the ship. That was when it was
they've played nothing. So I just think that the star power of the Packers name and Rodgers is just going to do his regular season thing and take this W here.
Well, especially they're the 15th ranked defense, and they've played the 32nd and the 31st ranked offense. So the Carolina Panthers are last in offense. Bears are second to last. So even with the 2 worst offenses in the league, you're still only 15th ranked defense. Nothing adds up with the Giants when you look at what they have. I mean, they paid Kenny Golladay $70 million, and he has been just completely non-existent. He just doesn't exist for that team. Again, is this a Titans situation though? We just talked about the Titans, where Titans would just have Derrick Henry be their entire offense. Ryan Tannehill would come in, not try to fuck it up, and then they would just play average defense, and they were the number 1 team in the AFC. So can the Giants do something like that? So far, kinda
possible, but this, like I said, this is their. They've got a lot coming up. I think we talked about last episode, where they have the Packers, Ravens, Jags, Seahawks all in a row.
Then the division they're in, they have undefeated Philadelphia and also 3-1 Dallas, where it's can they steal one of those games each? Probably, but right there, in my eyes, you're looking at 0-4 against your own division, and then maybe they split one with the Commanders. Right there, you have 5 losses, so you're already at 6. And then This one, I think we both agree Packers win, so you're at 7. Do they win the rest of? Do they win 7 more games? Maybe, But if you're reading off that list you just said, no, I don't see them winning any of those games.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think the Giants are frauds. I don't think there's anything that backs them up as not being frauds. And maybe this is the week we see them getting exposed. But these London games are fucking weird, man. I don't know. I don't like them. But next up, we go to the 1-3 Steelers with a new quarterback against the 3-1 Bills in Buffalo. Who you got for this one, Casino?
Buffalo. I told you I'm still going to ride and die on them. Yeah, Steelers going through. You know, they're going with the rookie quarterback here. Yeah, he didn't play like he came in last week for
and then remember we talked about it. He was a perfect passer rating except so those 3 INTs.
That's right. I just don't I don't buy it. I know Pickett's probably going to be better than Trubisky. That's why I want to kind of give him a better shot. But yeah, Bills should walk away with this one, I think, pretty handedly. I think out of all of it, this is the highest spread here. It's at -14.
Jesus. First off, I'm taking the Steelers. If we were doing point spreads, I'm taking the Steelers because there's no way in hell the Steelers are going to get blown out like the Titans did.
Like, right. I don't think there'll be a blowout, but I mean, I could see 10 points.
Oh yeah. If this spread was 9.5, I'd stay away from it, but 14 and a half, right?
14.
Dude, I'm taking 14. I'm taking Steelers all day because again, there's the unknown with Kenny Pickett. He could come in and they just don't know what to do against him.
So what are you going to take just straight up? Like, I mean, I think that's what we should have fun with the point spread picks, but
no, this is Bills all day. Bills all day. The Bills have the number 2 ranked defense and I believe they have the number 3 ranked offense. So just the Bills are, I think, on another level, even though I would like to see, they've kind of been hot and cold, right? Where it's just like, they had that crazy game against the Titans where it was just like, oh my God, the Bills look like the best team we've ever seen. And then they just come out against the Ravens and are losing most of that game. And then barely win.
The Ravens aren't a bad team though.
But the Ravens defense is bad.
The Ravens defense is a bad team. Anyway, but yeah, Buffalo. It's cold, it's sunny, but it'll still be a W for them.
Next up, I'm not going to throw out sneaky interesting, but I am going to say I don't know what to think about this game. 2-2 Chargers at Cleveland, 2-2 Browns. Who you got for this one?
Sneaky game. I'll throw it out there. I wouldn't want to touch this game if I was betting.
No way.
Man, I mean, it looked like Herbert was doing all right, and sorry. Had my hiccups there. I do think, man.
Chargers 20th ranked defense, Browns 9th ranked defense, and then offenses, obviously Cleveland, the 4th ranked offense in the league.
Right. So this is probably an unpopular, and this is not just because I have Jacoby Brissett. I think Cleveland is playing a very tight game right now, where they're very calculated in everything they're doing. They're not trying to take risks. They're keeping everything within the bubble, and it's hard to penetrate that bubble. Like they're going to be.
I mean, they got the great penetrator on their team. What you're saying is they're massaging. The Browns are massaging all the right things in the wrong way.
It's very exciting. I'm actually going to go against the spread here, and I am going to pick Cleveland.
Whoa!
I just still think the Chargers are a little beat up. We shall see, but I'm going Cleveland.
You know what? Whenever we do like a crazy upset pick, I'm just going to put like upset flashing on the screen, and it's going to be going crazy.
You might as well leave it up for me for quite a bit here because I got a few on here.
Dang, Casino went 12-4 last week. Now he's trying to Now he thinks he's fucking knows what he's talking about. So he's going to go crazy. But I think it's the Chargers, and I have no justification against you as to why I would pick the Chargers. The Browns seem like a much better team than everybody thought they would be. I think everybody, including us, just thought they would be in a holding pattern until Deshaun Watson got there. But who knows if the Browns are even better with Deshaun Watson. He hasn't played in fucking 3 years. So, I mean, and yeah, your boy Jacoby Brissett, he's looked good. Him and Geno Smith have looked
so this is a crazy thing that I heard during that game. And I knew it was high, but he is over 95% on the quarterback sneak.
Damn. That's
yes. Anytime they run a quarterback sneak, it's over 95% of the time that he's going to get it. And I remember with the Colts a couple times when he was playing for them that on some of those goal line 2 yards out, whatever, and he was playing as the backup, they would put him in to do the quarterback sneak and he would get the touchdown.
Dang. He just knows how to do it. Apparently.
He just knows how to do it. Well, he got to, I mean, look who he got to watch do it. And it's not me being a Brady, lover. I do like Brady a lot, but Brady is really good at the quarterback sneak as well.
Yeah.
You got to sit there, and I'm sure he got a lot of talk from Brady on how to be successful at the quarterback sneak.
Yeah. Well, that's what they always talk about with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, where he's really good at the quarterback sneak because of squats and because he literally just powers himself through. But that's not always the way to do it. Sometimes you just have to just know where you're going and just dive, basically. I don't know. That's an interesting stat, Casino.
It's a cool stat.
That's I'm gonna just put cool stat up on the screen, flashing.
Take that for data.
So you're picking the Browns. I'm picking the Chargers. Maybe the game I might be the least interested in coming up right now. The 0-3-1 Texans at the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are 2-2. I don't think I will watch this game for maybe less or more than 30 seconds. I just think it's going to be
just those highlights that come across the board.
Yeah, this is going to be just not my kind of game. I didn't like what I saw with the Jaguars last week. Maybe we overhyped them, or maybe the Eagles are that good, but I just think
the Eagles are that good. I think Jacksonville is going to do just fine. Again, and it's also Houston. Houston. I think the Jags are going to do just fine, in my opinion. And I do think the Eagles are just that good right now. That's my hot pick there. It's not that hot of a pick. It's probably pretty common.
So Houston in contention for worst team in the league. They rank 27th in offense, and in defense they are 29th. So just nothing. I don't even know what this Houston team is. David Mills, when I see clips of him or highlights, he doesn't look bad. And then when you watch his stat line, it's not bad, but it's like the Texans
for interceptions.
It's average. It's just it's but the interesting thing about the Texans is they're in every game. They just lose at the end. So it's kind of last year's Lions. They're kind of taking up that role, but I don't think next year they're going to come out and be what Detroit is this year. No. But yeah, I don't know. I'll pick the Jags just because. But I do think this will be a close game. I just don't think it'll be an interesting one. Next up, Casino. 2-2 Bears. How the hell are they 2-2? At the
no idea.
Minnesota Vikings, who are 3-1, and Minnesota barely escaping last week against the Saints, getting destroyed by the Eagles, destroying the Packers, and then what's the fourth game they've had? They got
you said the Bears.
Well, this is it. This is the one against the Bears. So they killed the Packers week 1. They got killed by the Eagles week 2. Week 3.
We're talking Saints, my bad. Or Vikings. It was Packers, Eagles, Lions.
Saints. Lions. Oh, and then they almost lost to the Lions, being down 10 points in the fourth quarter. So this Vikings team has killed a team, gotten killed by a team, come back, and barely escape with a victory, and they're 3-1. So who knows what the hell to make of this Vikings team? They always, you look at their roster and you read off all their skill positions and their individual defensive players, and you're like, this is a top 3 like roster in the NFL. And then they always, you watch them play and you're just like, how is this happening? How? So who you got for this one, Casito?
I've got Vikings. I don't see how you can pick otherwise, to be honest. I mean, I think it's just more on that Fields is not good at all.
No.
He's 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. His total yardage is 471 yards this season.
And dude, I saw a compilation of him for the first 4 weeks where he just misses like wide open. I think it's Maury, right? That's like their only wide receiver, basically, where he will just torch guys and just be downfield 10 yards separated from his defender, and Justin Fields will just overthrow him by 10 yards. Like, there's literally, again, we're in week 5, and so they've played 4 weeks. There's like a 4-minute clip of just him overthrowing this guy deep when he beat his defender. Like, I just think Justin Fields is just bad, right? They're the 31st ranked offense in the league, and I think that mostly rests on his shoulders. Like, just can't get anything going. They're 21st in defense. You know, Chicago's always famous for having great defenses, but just how the hell are they 2-2? Who have they beat?
Who?
They beat, didn't they beat the 49ers in that weird game in the rain where the score was like 10-9 or something like that? Like, I'll pull it up right here. I believe, let's see, they have, why am I missing this? I don't know. I can't find their schedule. I mean, it doesn't matter, but here we go. Schedule. So they lost week 1 against the Vikings. Then they beat the Commanders. No, is this preseason? This feels like preseason. I don't even know what I'm looking at. All right. Fuck it. It doesn't matter. Bears are bad. Vikings are a mystery, but I think the Vikings, we can both agree, still look better than the Bears. So we'll go next up. This one, sneaky interesting, Casino. We talked about this last episode. Sneaky good. 1-3 Lions at your 1-3 Patriots. Number 1 offense in the league with the Detroit Lions. The Lions are the opposite of the Texans. They are fun to watch. They're interesting to watch. I really like their offense and what they do on it. The Lions feel like they should be better than their 1-3 record. The Patriots should have beat the Packers last week. Who you got in this one, Casino?
I actually do have the Pats. Because yes, you have a 3rd-string quarterback playing for the Patriots. Yes, you have, the Detroit, that's the number 1 scoring offense in the league. However, Belichick, again, only reason that Pats have been within striking distance in games, not the only reason, but main reason, is his defense. He knows how to control the ball. He knows how to work the clock and basically kill your possessions, even if you have the ball the majority of the time. And Detroit, even though they have that bad defense, or even though the Patriots don't have the best offense, and we got a 3rd-string quarterback here, that defense is just so bad that I think it comes down to how well Belichick can contain Detroit. And I'll be honest, I think this is going to be the Pats all day. I mean, not all day. We're going to barely beat them, but yeah, I have the Pats. What do you got here?
I finally did pull up the Bears thing. They beat Houston Texans 23-20, and then they beat the San Francisco 49ers week 1, 19-10. Remember, in that like rainy, weird game? And then they got killed by the Packers and lost by 8 points to the Giants. So I stick by everything I said. They have their wins. I don't feel good about their losses are concerning, but as far as the Patriots and Lions, obviously Lions, everybody knows, number one offense in the league, 32nd defense in the league. Patriots are having a defensive coordinator call their offense, but their offense actually didn't look bad last week.
No, I do think he's starting to get into his role a little bit there. And also you got to think Patricia knows Detroit. Like, he was the head coach there. But I mean, it doesn't always work out. Look what happened with the Eagles. Your Eagles
still against the Jags. Yeah,
against the Jags. But so that doesn't always work out. But yeah, I just have a funny feeling this week that the Pats are going to be able to pull this one off, and it's going to be. I mean, they're actually favored. The Patriots are actually favored.
Do you think that has to do with this game happening in New England?
I mean, that's always going to be a factor playing at home. But,
what's the line on this?
-3 currently.
I think that for this past week that Jared Goff has been sitting in a dark room. He's been just with a football in his hand, just massaging it, looking at a screen of the Patriots celebrating that Super Bowl they won against him when he was with the Rams. And then in one hand, he's massaging a football. In another hand, he's just cracking walnuts with his bare hands. And he can't wait to play this game. He can't wait to get the revenge against Bill Belichick for taking away his probably one shot at glory to win a Super Bowl. I think Jared Goff game, Casino, 5 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns, 5 rushing, 5 throwing. He just goes all over.
He sets the NFL record.
He sets the passing record, touchdowns in a game. I believe it's 7. He goes 10, shatters it. He throws 700 yards, 8 touchdowns. The Patriots lose, 56-24. The Detroit Awakening game is this game. I'm picking Lions all day, Casino. I don't trust what's his name? Zappy. I don't trust Zapp. I don't trust Zappy. I trust Jared Goff, my boy. It's Lions all day. Give me the Lions, Casino. I know you hate the working man, but this is the working man team. This is you and your fucking crab cakes out on the harbor. You're on you're by the beach. You're, Nantucket. I'm the working man. You're posh trash. Okay.
Trash.
Lions all day. Let's go to 2-2 Seahawks at 1-3 Saints. Saints should be 2-2 with that embarrassing London game. But they got the red rifle at quarterback, Andy Dalton, which actually makes me more confident in them than if they did have Jameis Winston, because he didn't look bad last week. He didn't wow you, but he also didn't play a Jameis Winston game where it's just boring to watch and he can cost you the game at any minute. So Geno Smith kind of playing really good. Yeah. And who you got for this one, Casino?
Hit those banners. Bloop, 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 bloop. I'm actually picking the Seahawks here.
Oh. Are they not the favorites?
No. The Saints are -5.5.
-5.5 against the Saints?
No, the Saints are -5.5. Yeah. So yeah.
So wait, the Saints are favored by 5 or
yes. Saints are favored to win by 5.5.
How? What game? What football are the people making these lines watching?
Why do you think I'm doing an upset alert here?
They realize the record, right, is 1-3 versus 2-2. Like,
I know,
dude. The Saints are that one game they won, they could have easily lost if I'm remembering correct. But keep going, Casino.
No, I mean, And then I just don't feel like the Saints are all on the same page when it comes to offense. Um, Alvin Kamara, he's even talked about that. He's like, quote, we've been kind of killing ourselves. We've beaten ourselves every game. And I think that's true. I mean, I know they got Andy Dalton there, and they're going to probably play better than Jameis Winston. But yeah, I have the Seahawks. I'm kind of believing right now into that Geno Smith wagon. I'm reaching for it. I'm hopping on it. Just the back end, not too much, but yeah. I'm taking the Seahawks here.
So the one game the Saints won was a 27-10 victory over the Chargers in week 3. Wasn't that the Chargers game where everybody got injured and like knocked out, and then they went and played the Jaguars next week and got absolutely destroyed? So I don't know. I don't like this Saints team. I don't trust this Saints team. Their defense is not bad. It's 12th in the league, but their offense, man. Alvin Kamara, who knows if he plays this game? He didn't play the last one, and you could kind of feel the effects of it in that game. They felt like they should have scored way more than they actually did. But their offense is 9th in the league. I don't know how. So this Saints team isn't bad. They're top half of the league in both offense and defense, but they're still 1-3. Maybe that's why they're getting
that. But I think that's the reason. Like, that's my point. Is they have, their where they are offensive and defensive wise on the ratings, but they're still losing games. I just don't think they can put it together.
Yeah, well, I don't trust their coach. Dennis Allen? I remember when he coached the Raiders back in the day, and it was just like that Raiders team was a mess. This Saints team, for being in the top half of offense and defense, they also feel like a mess. It kind of feels like the Broncos, where it's just like their coaching kind of feels like way more of a detriment to the team than either the offense or defense. But all that being said, I agree with you. I kind of believe in Geno Smith. I like his story. I like what's happened to the Seahawks after the whole Russell Wilson thing. I've always liked Pete Carroll. He just seems like, if I had a coach, like, I'd want it to be him kind of thing. He feels like a fun guy that you like want to root for. So all that being said, I'm agreeing with you. I guess double upset pick of the week based on the lines here. We're going Seahawks. So moving on to the next game, the Tua Tagovailoa less 3-1 Dolphins at the 2-2 Jets. Do you know who's getting the start in this one? Who's Miami's backup? To
my knowledge, Bridgewater's getting the start.
Oh, so it is Bridgewater. Okay. Not again. I don't think that's that much of a drop off from Tua. Like, they seem very similar players.
I don't either. And man, you're gonna hear it here first, folks. That motherfucker is gonna come in and win this game.
Ooh.
I think the Jets are gonna go 500 for the first time in a long, or over 500 for the first time in a long time. I think it's gonna happen.
Sneaky good defense for the Jets, top 10.
Yeah, they're not bad. And I just think Miami's got so much going on right now internally with the concussion thing. And, a lot of people out there, they say that that doesn't mean anything. Like, the players, they're not looking at that. The coaches aren't looking at that. Like, they're going to go and play their game. But no, it's still on the back of their mind.
Oh, it has to be. Like, imagine if like Tyreek Hill gets lit up on a shot here and he's perfectly fine. It's going to go through everybody's mind watching that game, and especially on the Dolphins sideline. Like, he says he's fine, but should we let him keep playing? Because it's going to look like we just don't give a shit about our players, kind of thing. Like, and that's a real possibility.
And then, I mean, maybe you can look this up a little quicker than me. Aren't the Dolphins missing a few of their corners as well? I have a feeling the Jets are gonna pull this guy off. I mean, they're not playing in Miami.
Whoa, the Jets are going to do what to some guy? They're going to pull a guy off. What?
He's gonna pull this off. Oy, oy, oy.
All right. Oh, I didn't know this. So Tyreek Hill has been limited. Obviously, Tua's out. They're missing, I think you're thinking of Xavier Howard at corner.
Yes,
and
that's him.
then I believe is there.
I mean, but that's one of their main corners right there, man.
Yeah. And then their offensive tackle, Armstead. So they're missing, again, kind of like the Chargers. They're missing a couple of guys, but it's all like key guys.
Key players. Yeah. I'm taking the Jets on this one. I think this will be a fun one. I think there's a real possibility outside of the Patriots that everybody will be over 500 after this week.
So you're picking Jets.
Yeah, I'm going strong on the AFC East this week, man. Outside of Miami, obviously.
I think, obviously, this podcast's favorite quarterback is playing in this game. We love Zach Wilson. I'm going to get a Zach Wilson jersey and wear it on the show. He's the best. We love him, Casino. Not for his on-field antics, but for his off-field antics, I'm his number one fan. Zach Wilson, my guy. He is the motherfucker, the MF, Zach Wilson. Hide your kids. Mostly hide your mom. Mostly hide your wife if she is a mom. Like, it's... But I don't think Teddy Bridgewater is scared of him. Maybe his mom's not hot. I don't know. I don't know why he's not scared of Zach Wilson, but I don't think he is. I think this Jets team, good defense, too many question marks on that offense. We saw with Flacco where everybody was like, Flacco's back. And then he had like a terrible week the week after. This past week, they were like, Jets are back because Zach Wilson's here. And then I could easily see the Dolphins defense, who hasn't shown really anything all season, just lighting him up. I'm picking Dolphins, and I have no justification other than I think the Dolphins are a better team, even though the stats don't line up that way. I just think Bridgewater will do enough and they just have more on offense to combat that Jets defense, which Jets defense, again, not bad. Really not. Like, it's all offense.
They're kind of sneaky. Sorry.
Next, sneaky good game, Casino. 2-2 Falcons at the 2-2 Tampa Bay Brady Buccaneers. Apparently, rumors swirling now that Brady and Giselle getting a divorce. Brady has not looked like himself all season, even though that Chiefs game last week, he had a pretty damn good game. But
I think this is Tom Brady's comeback here. I think this is going to get blown out of the water. I will
tell
you why. Their receivers are coming back. He's going to have people to throw to. Also, Atlanta, they're missing some players. Cordell Patterson not playing, and that's kind of big. One of their big main rushers, even though he's a utility guy. He played everywhere he's been, including the Pats. He's been a utility guy. He's not. I think Brady's going to come out finally with some weapons.
Chris Godwin's coming back, right, this week?
Godwin, Evans, like he's getting people back.
Yeah.
So I even if they're not catching a whole bunch, they're on the field, and that's going to draw your number one corner, your number two corner. That's going to draw people away. I think this is it's a -10 for Tampa. And I would honestly take that. I'm not knocking Atlanta at all. I just think Brady's pissed. Also, another stat with Brady, obviously him playing for the Patriots for a long time, I've known this, that he's never lost 3 straight games in his career.
299 starts. I saw that stat. That's insane.
And so he's lost 2 in a row 10 times in his career, and he always comes back. He's 10-0 after being down 2 games.
Yeah.
I can't see the Falcons beating them this game.
Well,
I think he just
also
rolls. I think he rolls.
the underlying thing here is Tom Brady owns the souls of the Falcons for that Super Bowl. He doesn't own them. He owns the essence of the Atlanta Falcons franchise. For some reason, the Saints know how to play Brady. Brady just walks into the Falcons. He could play this game in sandals, and I still feel like he would put up 35 points. He could play no helmet, a beanie, sandals, and just like a smoking jacket. And I still feel like he would light them up, and the Falcons would be like, oh my God, we're going to crush them. And then there'd always be that little thought of like, doesn't matter our lead, doesn't matter how well we're playing. He owns our souls. We sold it to him, and we got nothing in return. I think I agree with you. I think the Falcons will be competitive because I know we both like Mariota, but I just think this is the Tom Brady. There's always Tom Brady when there's a bunch of people talking about him outside of football, right? Like with the Deflate Gate and all that kind of stuff. He just is the type of psycho player that just goes, you want to talk about me and my wife? You want to talk about me being done? Like me not focusing on football? And then he just comes out, plays amazing in that Chiefs game, even though, Patrick Mahomes just amazed him basically to win that game. But he feels like the type of psycho that just goes like, shut up and watch. And he throws 5 touchdowns, is like 22 for 25 for 380 yards. And everybody's like, Tom Brady's back, even though he never left. Like this, I agree with you. This seems like the Tom Brady awakening game. If, however, this isn't the Tom Brady awakening game and they lose or he looks bad, then I feel like I'm starting to get concerned because
I do think this is his last year regardless. But
I do too. I think you can tell just when he plays, like even when he plays good, he just doesn't look like he's enjoying it. Like he really looks like he's just fucking
until
done.
He's not enjoying it. So
yeah,
he's not enjoying it.
I agree with you.
So we may need to pick it up here. I know we both have things we have to do.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6.
And then
most of these games, I really don't even think are good games. Or no, I actually maybe I don't know. Next game, 2-2 Titans at 1-3 Commanders. This is one of the games like the Jacksonville game. I really have no interest in. I don't think this will be a good game. I don't think there's really anything to watch in this game.
Yeah. I pretty much agree with you on that. So who do you got? I got just roll this one over.
I got Titans. I think the Commanders I think we've seen the best of the Commanders and they're 1-3. I don't have any faith in them whatsoever.
That's a great way to put that. I think we have seen the best. I don't think they'll be any better than what they have shown. And with that, I'm choosing the Titans as well.
And also Titans look like they're bouncing back, maybe regaining some of what they had last year. But again, I don't really trust either of these teams. Next up, what I would say would have been a sneaky good game 2-3 weeks ago, 2-2 49ers at 1-3 Panthers. I don't think there's any 2 teams in the league who one's going up, one's going down faster than 49ers stock is rising and Panthers stock is literally plummeting. Like, it doesn't matter what they do with Christian McCaffrey. He can be their entire offense and they still look like contention for worst team in the league. Baker Mayfield is statistically worst quarterback in the league, worst quarterback. We talked about this last episode in 20 years or something like that. I think this has potential to be blowout of the week.
Yeah, if it's not the Tampa Bay game, I would agree with you on this.
Yeah, this looks rough. Next up, game I am concerned about.
So it's obvious who we're picking there. All right, continue.
Yeah, I think we're both going 49ers. Next up, 4-0 Eagles at 2-2 Cardinals. Who you got, Casino?
Eagles. How you said you're gonna bet against them until they finally lose. I'm just gonna bet with them until they finally lose. They're just too good. As I said on last episode, they're hitting every mark, every special teams, defense, offense, and they're winning in so many different ways, passing, rushing. They just look clean. the team just looks put together.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a chink in that armor, as I said last week. It just that's 100% my take on that. So I think that's an easy call, Eagles. And I don't think Arizona's too bad. It's just I think the Eagles are that good.
Yeah, I will say the one thing I said, I believe not last week, but the week before when we were talking about Eagles Jaguars, is I said, I want to see the Eagles play a competitive game and see how they perform. Well, I also wanted to see how they perform when they're down, like early, and if they have the skills and will and like determination to come back. And they started off that game immediately 14-0, pick six. You would think like most quarterbacks throw a pick six, they're going to play cautious the rest of the way or try not to make a mistake. It didn't even look like Jalen Hurts even thought he played bad. Yeah, he was just like, all right, well, I'm coming back out. We're going to do the same thing. And then they rail off 29 unanswered points. And I watched every snap of that game. After the first quarter, that game wasn't even close. Like the score does not indicate how much the Eagles absolutely dominated all phases of that Jaguars team.
They're the most complete team 100% in the NFL. And with just that, like they can, lose a couple games, but shit, they may be the NFC team. They may go back to the Super Bowl.
I mean, that's the hope on my end. But interesting stat here, the Eagles have never beat the Cardinals. So if they do, I don't know. I'm obviously picking the Cardinals because I bet against my team until they win, like Casino just said. But this game I'm scared of. I'm more scared of going into Dallas undefeated and Dallas winning than I am of the Cardinals winning. Because I feel like if the Cardinals win, then it can be like, okay, like talk of undefeateds out the window, bounce back week in Dallas. Everybody thinks we're overrated, and then we destroy the Cowboys, right? I'm more scared of the scenario where we're undefeated going into the Dallas Cowboys game, and then the Cowboys beat us, and then you hear their fucking fans and the media being like, we told you this Eagles team is overrated and this Cowboys team underrated, and now they're going to the Super Bowl. That's my worst nightmare. That's my worst nightmare, Casino. So I almost hope the Cardinals win so we can get the. I don't give a shit about undefeated.
That's spoken like a true fan with. That's spoken like a true fan with a rivalry between you and the Cowboys. Like, that's phenomenal.
I've never understood like the whole undefeated season or whatever. Like it's only happened once with that Dolphins team. There's not a person on earth except the people who were on that 1972 Dolphins team who thinks that's the best team ever. Like just because they went undefeated, I think they would get rolled by 20 other teams in NFL history. Like I don't think that team was
not
good.
Being biased. I think the Patriots that 07 year was there, or it was 07. It was 07.
Yeah,
right? Or was it the
where they went undefeated, or where they almost went undefeated?
Yeah, I still think that was one of the most dominant teams out there. But
well, yeah. And then you also have, the Raiders teams of even that era of the 70s.
They were so destructive on defense.
You have the 49ers of the late 80s, early 90s. You have those 90s Cowboy teams. You have the couple of the Patriots teams would go there. You have 85 Bears. You have 2000 Ravens. Like, I just think when it comes to undefeated, I don't give a shit. I don't want them to be undefeated. It means nothing to me. So picking cards, you're picking Eagles. Next up, those aforementioned Cowboys 3-1 at 2-2 Rams. This one might be game of the week in terms of what happens in this one. Like,
I think the Rams have to. I think the Rams have to come out and win this game, and for their season. Just as a momentum standpoint, obviously going 2-3 is not the end of the damn world. As long as you can make the playoffs, anything can happen. But I think just mentally, this is a big game for them.
Yeah.
But interesting, if they do lose and the Cowboys do win, and they're still playing with Rush, dude.
I think from both sides of this game, there's so many interesting things that
Yeah.
happen with both teams if one team wins, one team loses. Because with the Rams, like you said, they really haven't played a good game this season. Like in terms of like Super Bowl champs coming off the Super Bowl, they haven't looked like the team of last year. Stafford's been rough. Their defense is ranked 30th in the league. Their offense is 28th. They're 20th in passing, 30th in rushing, and that's from the Rams' perspective. The Cowboys' perspective, they're 26th in offense and 9th in defense. But again, that almost comes down to who they've played because, you know, they've played the Giants, they played Cincinnati, where I still think that was just one of the biggest matchups in the league. Cowboys' defensive line versus Bengals' offensive line. I think if they played that game again, that game wouldn't look anything like that. But yeah, Rams, just who do they have besides what am I thinking? The wide receiver. Why am I blanking on his name? The Rams wide receiver.
Cup.
Thank you. Who do they have besides Cooper Kupp? Like they have Higbee, who hasn't done anything. Robert Woods really hasn't done anything. Or no, I'm sorry, anything. Not Robert Woods. Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson. I know who you meant.
He like last week he had like 2 catches for like 4 yards or something like that. Like he has been an absolute ghost out there, non-existent. We've obviously seen the issues with the running game. I don't know who to pick in this game, Casino. Who are you picking?
I'm going to go Rams because I feel like they have more at stake here and they need to win this game. The only thing I think going bad for Dallas, if they lose this game, it's just like, all right, well then as soon as Dak comes back, we're putting him in. I think it'd be harder for Dallas if they won on what they would do at quarterback. So not saying they're going to tank the game or anything, but I mean, it would be a tough for them if they win and be like, okay, well, Rush is coming in, he's undefeated.
Well, the interesting thing is Rush is undefeated, but their offense isn't good. So it's like this weird thing where it's like, can you bench the guy who's 5-0, even though it feels like he's a part of the 5-0, but it's like he's leading all these fourth quarter comebacks, but that's because he's not really doing much in the first 3 quarters. I don't know. It's such a weird, because the only thing we've seen of Dak this season was him not doing anything against the Buccaneers. So it was like, I don't know. This game is interesting. I think
I'm going Rams just because I think they have more at stake for
I think season. I agree with you. I think I'm going Rams as well. Just because it's in LA, I feel like, and again, our boy Stafford, I just feel like he plays good against the Cowboys. So we'll see. Last 2 games here, Casino, the Sunday night, the Monday night. Sunday night, 2-2 Bengals at 2-2 Ravens. I feel like these last 3 games or these last 4 games are all of the games of the week, right? Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't really want to touch this game if I was a bettor.
Oh, no way. Because this could go, I could see every scenario with this game. Blowout on either side, close game on either side. I'm staying away from this one. And we are back. We had a unexpected where we just couldn't record. I mean, I did. Yeah, my son was continued his throwing up and destroying lives with his sickness. So that has not stopped. It is the next day. We're going to finish the last 2 NFL games and then do MLB, talk about a little basketball, and then we're out of here. So, Casino, 2-2 Bengals at 2-2 Ravens. Who you got in this game and why?
If I think we already talked about this one, but Ravens. I remember, because I remember you went with the Bengals here. My sole thing is I just haven't seen much yet out of Cincy. I know they are 2-2, and you say that they're on the uptrend. But Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, he's still the MVP candidate, number 1 going into it. I just don't know if Cincy can stop that run game. Yes, Ravens defense is awful, and you get Jamar Chase on the outside, 1-on-1, it's over. So this one's a close call, but I'm going to go Ravens. It's in Baltimore. That's kind of just my hard pick on that. It's a tough one. in my opinion.
Yeah. What I don't understand is the Ravens defense. If this thing will just pull up. The Ravens defense is 30th in the league, right? So but for some reason on NFL.com, it's saying they are the 8th ranked defense. And anybody who's watched the games know they're not the 8th ranked defense. They are the 30th ranked defense because they can't stop anybody. Everybody's scoring on them. Everybody goes up and down the field.
And where are you seeing the 30th on? Because I mean, I do see the same thing on the NFL.
I am on what? Well, I'm looking at team defenses for covers.com. Covers. But
nice name, sexy name.
It is. But no, they are they're the 30th ranked defense because they're allowing 425 yards worth of offense a game.
There's no way you're 8 because of that.
Yeah, no, the 8th ranked defense is the Bucks, who are only allowing 321. So they're allowing over 100 more yards. So I don't know where this 8th ranked defense and stuff is coming from, but their offense is clicking. I agree with you that Lamar Jackson still, even after a rough last week, is still clearly the MVP of the league. He just had a phenomenal first 3 weeks, and his stats are insane. He has more touchdowns than almost every team combined in the NFL, just him. So, but all that said, I don't know. I just like what I've seen from the Bengals. I think Joey B's back. We talked about the Brady game where this could be him, his I'm back game, destroying the Falcons. I really think this could be Joey B's game where I'm back, I'm destroying the Ravens. But all those AFC North games are always closer than they should be. So I'm picking the Bengals, but kind of reluctantly, because I can't really convince myself of the Ravens with that defense going against that high-powered Cincy offense. So we differ on that one. Last game of the week, Monday night game, 1-3 Raiders, who are way better than 1-3, at the 3-1 Chiefs, who the Chiefs, after we saw them last week, everybody's saying they're back if they really ever left. But who you got for this one, Casino?
Chiefs. I think it's gonna be a lot closer than people think. It's gonna be a harder game, again, because the Raiders, they have not been out of any games really. They've been pretty dang close. Let's see here. Their losses: 19-24, 23-29 in overtime, 22-24. They're not losing. They're not losing games by getting blown out. But I still don't think that they're put together enough. And I think the Chiefs are even continuing off of that loss, week 3. I still think that they're out there to put a little bit of distance between them and the rest of the AFC field. So that's my pick for that.
This feels like an ultimate better's trap game, right? Because of how good the Chiefs looked last week. The Raiders, they looked good last week and they got their first win, but it was against Buffalo. So I really don't think people, view that as, as impressive despite Denver's record, because Denver looks like maybe one of the worst teams in the league. And I have no idea how their record is what it is. But for some reason, and we always talk about this, the Raiders just know how to play this Chiefs team. They always either beat them or put up a really good game against them. I feel like this is just everybody's going to be picking the Chiefs, right? All the money's going to come in on the Chiefs. I'm going upset pick of the week, Casino. I think the Raiders pull it off on the Chiefs. I think this is
a lot of different picks this week.
Yeah. So we're going to see this separate the man from the boys, the working class versus the, but yeah, this is my
industry, right?
This is my upset pick of the week. And I feel like this is just going to be one of those weird games that ends like 20-17 and you're watching it and you're
so
just,
you're going to take the under. It's 51.5.
oh no, I don't think for some reason, this just seems like kind of the Bengals Ravens game, or almost like how the Bills Ravens felt last week. Cause remember, everybody was like, oh my God, the over under for this game should be 65 or whatever. Like they're going to light it up. And it was like 43. I don't know. This just feels like everybody's expecting the Chiefs to come out and do the Buffalo Bills, what they did to the Titans, right? Where this is like 45-7. But if you watch these Raider games, the Raiders are a lot better than their record. Like, and they're, I mean, 1 or 2 plays away. They could be 3-1. They could be 4-0. Like, I just think this Raiders team just got the shit end of the stick, so to speak. So I don't know. I think, and everybody's hyped from the Chiefs last week, right? Where it was just like, oh my God, Patrick Mahomes, here's 50 highlights of him doing crazy stuff. I still think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC, but this just feels like, yeah, it's all set up for them to just have a little bit of a letdown where they lose and everybody's like, this means nothing, blah, blah, blah. Plus, we saw that game against the Colts where we've seen the Chiefs just not be able to put anything together for whatever reason. So I don't know. Casita. That's my upset pick of the week. So we have this week, we both picked the Packers, both picked the Bills. You're picking the Browns. I'm picking the Chargers. Let me see if these are the right. Yeah. The Vikings, or no, I'm sorry. Who did you pick? You picked the Jags against the Texans, right? That's the one I missed. So we both picked the Jags. We both picked the Vikings. You picked the Patriots. I picked the Lions. We both picked the Seahawks. I picked the Dolphins. You picked the Jets. We both picked the Titans. Both picked the 49ers. You picked the Eagles. I picked the Niners. I'm sorry. You picked the Eagles. I picked the Cardinals. Then you picked the Ravens. I picked the Bengals. You picked the Chiefs. I picked the Raiders. So yeah, a lot different than it was last week. So we will see. That is our week 5 NFL predictions. So we will see next week who was right, who was wrong, who is the working class, who is the
I don't get that joke.
But now we move over. Let's just go to this. The only 2 things that are talked about in basketball is the video you showed me, which I saw before we started recording the last podcast. And then the other thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Same podcast.
Oh yeah, before we start, this is part 2, part 1. Before this podcast yesterday, you showed me that video, but I just wanted to ask you, have you seen any of the highlights of Victor Wembanyama?
No.
So he is like this freak athlete who's, I believe, is coming out of France. He is a 7'4" guard, and he moves a guard, and he moves like he's like Steph Curry. It is the weirdest thing you've ever seen. People are calling him the alien because he just looks, when you see guys who are like over 6, like 11 in basketball, and they always just look like they're like newborn giraffes, and it gets really awkward movement. And
the most recent one that I could think of is Taco Fall.
Yeah. He just always looks like he's uncomfortable moving, or he can't really, it looks like he's like his first day in his body, like that kind of thing. Dude, this guy moves like he's Steph Curry. He's hitting fadeaway shots. He's hitting like little like hook flip of his wrist shots. He's hooked like fall away stuff, 3 points. It's crazy. They're saying this guy might be maybe the best basketball prospect ever. There's people saying that, LeBron James, when he was coming out of high school, was like the best athlete like of the modern era. They're saying this guy, people would take him over like LeBron when he was coming out. And when you watch him, it just looks like everybody's making the same joke. It looks like the guy you create in you're on a video game where you're just like, he's going to be taller than everybody, but he shoots like Steph Curry. Like, it's crazy. I will send you the highlights. It's
Please.
amazing. But I just wanted to, he's been the talk of the town the past like 2 days. But the other talk of the town in the NBA before the season starts is Draymond Green just punching out Jordan Poole. Like, it does it look like it's a sucker punch, right? From that video, it looks like a sucker punch.
And then all these people coming out, oh, well, Jordan Poole pushed him. Well, yeah, because Draymond Green got in his face and was chest to chest. We're friends, and if you got chest to chest to me, I would push you away.
Yeah, I think you would do that to it. Like, if you and your chick got in a fight, you would like kind of like push her to get out of your face. Like,
yeah, and then she would sucker punch me and I would go down to the ground like a ton of bricks.
Yeah. But the craziest thing about that sucker punch, and we talked about this when I was watching the video before we started recording, is he sucker punches him in the face, and then like, at least in his brain was like, oh shit, I knocked this guy out and I need to catch him before his head bounces off the ground. Because you see like Draymond Green almost like tackle him to try to catch him because he just goes limp. And I mean, why wouldn't he? Like, basketball players have an insane reach to begin with, but God, he like hits so much
bigger than Poole.
Oh, dude, he's Draymond Green, obviously one of the most famous shit talkers in the NBA. So I'm sure they were going back and forth, and Jordan Poole was probably like, yeah, like, fuck you. And then, yeah. So I don't know. Do you, there's conspiracy theories, obviously, that this is Draymond trying to get out of Golden State or trying to get out of his contract. What do you think it is, Casino?
Where Golden State doesn't want to pay them. That's why they were saying, oh, we're going to handle this eternally. I think they're the ones that leaked it personally.
Ooh.
I think there's a very high chance that it doesn't seem outrageous that, obviously he's got a contract extension coming up, if they give it to him, and they're not wanting to pay him what he wants to be paid. And so I think what they're trying to do, all my thought and speculation is because somebody leaked it, obviously somebody who had to that footage leaked it, and it doesn't make sense that it would be anybody that's not working for that organization that would have tape on the incident. And somebody leaked it. I wouldn't be shocked if it was actually Golden State, because they want the fans on their side, so they could be like, well, the fans don't want you here, so we're either going to give you a pay cut or we're going to have you leave.
I could see that. I think when you listen to Draymond Green,
all shady as shit, man. I mean, most sports are, but
yeah, I agree with you that it's always weird when like these practice or like, when there's not a game being played and it's something happens in a team meeting or like a team practice where there's a fight or somebody says something or blah, blah, blah. It's always weird when that stuff leaks into the press, because it's like, who's leaking this? Like, it's all just coaches and players and like maybe team doctors or whatever for those things. So it's like, how are we seeing this video? Who was recording this? Why is this out? So I do agree with you that Draymond Green has been past his prime for at least 2 seasons minimum, maybe 3. But last year he was basically non-existent on that Golden State championship team. So I don't think he deserves an extension. I don't know if he'll even be there at the start of the season now, but throughout the season, I could have seen him getting traded during the trade deadline too. There's rumors that he wants to go to the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers are a dumpster fire at this point, so they can use all the help they can get. Even stars past their prime is basically all they can afford. So yeah, I don't know. Just for that to make it into the press, what a weird, But I agree with your narrative. Like, Golden State can just be like, why would we want this guy on our team? He's punching out the future of the team because he's jealous or blah, blah, blah. You can write your own narrative. So yeah, but just God, what a great sucker punch. If you're going to sucker punch somebody, that's what you want to do. Knock them out. Like, man.
I mean, now Jordan Poole could be like, yo, I could take anything. I got sucker punched by Green.
Now we move
about. Oh, continue.
Now we move from football to baseball, and we've already seen We were recording yesterday's episode before the game started, but now
Yeah.
it's obviously a day past. Did you see that insane Phillies Cardinals game where the Phillies came back from, I think, down 6 runs in the
No,
ninth inning to win that
no, no, no.
game?
No, so Philly won 6-3
Oh, so they came back with 6 runs in the ninth.
in the ninth.
That's
Correct.
insane. Whew.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. Yeah, so yeah, yesterday's scores you had uh Tampa losing to Cleveland 2-1. You had Philly with a crazy ninth inning beating St. Louis 6-3. Again, all scored in the ninth. Seattle goose egging Toronto, which that's crazy for Seattle. I don't know if you know this, like that's their first playoff win because they haven't been in the playoffs in countless years. I don't remember how many. Um, but it was like early 2000s or something like that since they made the playoffs last. Um, it's there was a stat out there, it was like 7,700 something days since they have won a postseason baseball game.
Jeez.
I don't know the exact stat on that. I saw it had popped up um, on the screen when I was watching that game. But crazy. And then the final game was not much of a game. San Diego 7-1 over the Mets. The Mets didn't look like they wanted to show up at all.
Well, the Mets look like they were done when they, lost the division lead on like the last like 3 days before the season ended. So I think the Mets are done.
I mean, and San Diego, I mean, they had 4 home runs that game. So I mean,
Ugh.
it was it was an ass kicking. The Mets don't look good, but I think it kind of sets up for what a lot of people were kind of hoping for, where you'd get San Diego. I think San Diego would be playing LA next. I think that's how
Yeah.
it's going to
Let's see. I
shake
have
down.
that right here. Oh, well, I thought I did have it here. No, I do not. But
it's the 4-5 versus going to be the 1. So that's I think what it was. Let's see here.
Yeah. And then the only game, as we're recording on Saturday, the only game that is played today is the Guardians beat the Tampa Bay Rays to advance in the wild card. So the ones that are happening today are
and then we also I mean they're all playing again today, but currently you do have Toronto up on Seattle 4-1, top of the 5th. So that game looks like that series probably looks like it's going to go even at 1, with a final game. I believe
it's tomorrow at 11.
Tomorrow, yeah, at 11. I was looking for the time. Yep. And then then later this evening you do have the other 2 games with San Diego and Mets going 4:37 p.m. Pacific time, and Philly St. Louis going 5:37 p.m. Pacific time as well. So we shall see. My picks is San Diego clears it on out today. I don't think it was a shock that the Guardians came out and won against Tampa. Guardians look really good towards the end of the season here. I know you don't watch a lot of baseball, but I got my team on right now, even though they're
well,
not even in the playoffs.
I feel like I've watched more baseball than usual this year because they've just had so much more baseball games on TV, or it's been like in kind of the public.
Also, you were expecting, to start this only sports podcast.
That's true. So I gotta get all my sports content in. But I would say so I love NFL, NBA pretty much the same, right? Like I follow those 2 religiously. I love it. I love NBA talk probably more than I love NFL talk, but I like watching NFL more than I do NBA. Does that make sense? Like, I think the storyline and drama throughout the NBA season is always more interesting to me than NFL. Then NHL would be
your drama.
then NHL would be next, and then probably distant fourth would be baseball. But I do really get into baseball when it's the playoffs. I think I've watched the last, at least, let's see, looking at the World Series, I think I have watched the last at least 10, 11 years of World Series games. So I do get more into baseball when it's in the playoffs. I think playoff baseball is really exciting. But
this is the best time of year.
But my question to you, Casino, is do you see a realistic shot for anybody winning the World Series this year who aren't Dodgers, Astro, Braves, Yankees? Outside of those four.
The only one I could say would be the Cleveland Guardians. I just think they've been streaking towards the end of the season. They look good. That would be my sneaky pick there. I don't see the Yankees pulling it off. Yes, Judge is great. Judge, and congrats on Judge for now being the solo home run hitter for the AL, which is awesome for him. That's just a feat amongst itself. Cleveland would be the only one that I think could ruffle some feathers in there. If the Dodgers don't win it this year, baseball's a sham.
Do you think so? I think we both agree on this, but the Mets are done, right? They just peaked too early, and they've just been on a gradual decline.
I think San Diego closes it out tonight on them.
God, 101 wins. Everybody was saying, because anytime the Mets start doing good, it's all miracle Mets talk, blah, blah, blah. But God, when they lost the division lead with it was like 3 days to go in the season, right? Like they were just done, I think. And then you see them just come out and lay an absolute just goose egg against the Padres. They scored one run. Wasn't that on a solo home run? I think I saw that in the game, and it was just 7-1 against the Padres.
Yeah, it was a solo home run by Eduardo Escobar.
Man. So I just think they play tomorrow, Sunday at 4:37 p.m. I think the Padres just close them out, right? Yep. I just think this Mets team is deflated. They're done. It's over for meet the Mets at home during the playoffs. See what I did there, Casino?
I did.
But so for predictions, who do you think comes out of the NL? You think it's Dodgers, right?
Oh, to go to the World Series, yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's not, this is their worst bust, because this team just is too good. It's just too good. If they don't make it this year, this is their best team. Even the years that they have won the World Series in the past 5 years, this team is better than that. And if they can't pull it off this year, that's sad.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the interesting one to me is obviously the best game we've had so far in the playoffs was the Phillies Cardinals game, just because the Phillies came back in the 9th inning. Do you think Phillies or Cardinals go advance the division series?
Honestly, that one's just kind of, I can't really tell who's going to come out off that side, to be honest. I don't think any of these teams in the wild card are going to do anything outside of the possibility of Cleveland in the AL.
Yeah, I think the AL is much more interesting than the NL. I think the NL, I don't really even think there's anybody close to the Dodgers. I don't see anybody.
The other teams that are bad teams. I mean, just the Dodgers are too dominant. It is what it is. And everybody's saying, oh, well, the Yankees are a clear AL. No, they're not. They got Aaron Judge. He can hit home runs. Besides that, the rest of the team is a little stale. They had a great beginning of the season. Yeah, no.
So the AL, do you think it comes down to Astros, Yankees? Yeah. Or, I mean, I know you say Cleveland, but if Cleveland gets matched up with the Yankees, do you think they have a better shot if they would have win against the Yankees or against the Astros?
Yankees.
Really? So you think,
I think they could fluster them a little bit? Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's going to be the Guardians won today, so that's going to be the next round, right? Is Guardians Yankees.
No, Guardians. Oh yeah, they won today. So, yep.
So it's going to be Guardians Yankees. What realistic shot, like percentage wise, do you give Guardians beating the Yankees? Do you think it's a 50-50 or?
I mean, as long as their pitching stays on point, man, it's tough to hit them right now. So that's
you're talking about tough to hit the Guardians or the Yankees?
The Guardians. And then so I guess the last things we could touch on is, I mean, we could talk about a little college football. Honestly, I don't got much longer, I'll be honest. But NHL started up. Nashville started up yesterday with the little over pond action. Nashville is now 2-0 for the season. San Jose is 0-2. We also had another one go final today. St. Louis Blues 6 goose egg over Chicago, so they're 1-0. Chicago 0-1. And then you still have multiple preseason games still going on right now. So yeah, that's a little odd how that's.
When does the official NHL season start?
Yesterday.
Oh shit!
It started yesterday. It started yesterday with Nashville, San Jose, but there's still teams playing preseason games.
And we will be doing our NHL preview predictions for the season on next episode, Casino. So looking forward to that. Let's see. For NCAA, it was, or for the football, I hate how they just call both sides of college NCAA. I hate how I just want them to break away from that organization. I hate the NCAA, but they had the Red River rivalry that was supposed to be close. And then Texas just absolutely destroyed the Oklahoma Sooners, which was great because I had the over in that game and Texas basically did it themselves. Let me see if my internet would not be slow. I do have the toaster internet today.
Well, mine's starting. I mean, I could see you starting to cut out quickly, so we might just want to wrap this up here.
Yeah. The Texas Longhorns beat the Oklahoma Sooners today 49-0. Jesus. I don't think Texas is legit, or I thought Texas was legit coming into this season, but I didn't think they were that good. I mean, my God. But yeah, Casino, you got anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
Nope. I'm going to kick your ass on the pick'em.
No, I don't. I wish I would have counted how many games we had different, but it's at least 5. So it's really separating the man from the boys this week. And you got 12 last week. I got 10 the week before. I still don't remember what your week 1 picks are. So I will listen to that first episode and come back with our total for the season. I think you are kicking my ass because you have beat me every week, except the 1 week where we tied with 5. So there you go. We'll see what it is this week. This has been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino. And yeah, adios.
All right. Bye.